welcome back to another episode of Retro Alliance Gaming. This episode is for Halloween month, and for today's episode, I'm going to be reviewing a game called Fatal Frame. Now, before I go ahead and get started, I want to let you know that I have two kinds of reviews I do. One of them is more involved and time-consuming, and it normally involves a lot of skits and a lot more planning. Well, I also do impression reviews, which is going to be this, where I basically go ahead, capture footage, and speak over it, giving you editing and giving you an idea of what I think. Now, Fatal Frame originally came out on the PS2 and was later ported and enhanced for the Microsoft Xbox. Now, this is the version I played. This version had not only enhanced graphics, but they added additional features such as first-person mode for Fatal Frame 2, which looked absolutely amazing. The Xbox graphically was capable of doing quite a bit more than the PS2 in that sense, and I really feel they were able to capture it the best in this particular port. Now, this game is set in 1986. The story begins with an inspiring florist named Mafuyo Hinazaki, and he decided one night to investigate the Himuro Mansion. Now, it's a place that is said to be haunted, and he's in search of a renowned florist named Junsai Takamine. I believe, again, that's how it's pronounced. If I butcher this, I apologize. Now, he brings with him a special hand-me-down, a special camera that has the power to actually expose things the normal eye can't see. When he enters the mansion and encounters his only inhabitants, ghosts of the people who were actually killed there, after fending off violent ghosts and seeing what the power of the camera was, he decided to continue his search and investigate further. Now, on his way, however, a dark presence surrounded him, and Mafuyo's fate is unknown. So basically, something pops out and scares the living shit out of him, and you have no idea what's going on. This is all played out in black and white, and it gives you this very eerie feeling. When I was playing it and I got to that point, it made you really want to know what was happening. At this point, it goes 2 weeks later, and his sister, Miku, arrives at the mansion. Now, fearing the worst may have happened to her brother, she takes it upon herself to enter the mansion and find him. Inside, she finds the camera obscura that her brother brought with him, and continuing his investigation, she finds out the truth about the florist who went missing. Now, when she came to this mansion to document the grisly events that occurred there long ago, and in his progress of going through it, he uncovers a mysterious strangling ritual that took place in the mansion. But before he and his assistants could leave the haunted grounds, they were set upon by spirits that were killed in the aftermath of the failed ritual. Miku continues deeper into the mansion, determined to find the truth and her missing brother, and the story gets worse and worse by every room that Miku enters. When later on she finds out that the shrine maiden who was dead looks for her brother also. Now, going from this point, I don't want this to be a full spoiler review, so I'm not going to tell you too much, but I want to give you my impressions. That's the story that goes in at the very beginning. Now, going ahead and continuing on, this game was actually even considered niche when it came out all the way back in early 2000s. This game also says it's based on a true story, and much in the same vein as the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So basically, while the events are not true, the story behind them are. This game is based on a real village that is in Japan in the middle of nowhere, and it is said to be haunted by tormented souls. The village hidden away in the mountains are known to have a crazy occult and creepy rituals, and that's what this game is actually based off. If you actually look it up, you could find pictures of the actual location, but there's a lot of back and forth of whether or not this is actually true or not. Regardless of the authenticity, the pure thought of actually this being real gives you shivers down your spine when you're playing it. This game is both unique and very scary in ways most games are not able to actually accomplish. Now, while a lot of horror games are based off of jump scares, kind of like 80s horror movie, this game tends to take a different approach, kind of like a Resident Evil 1 approach, or even something like The Exorcist, where instead of these huge jump scares, they build up intensity from a lot of very creepy music to dark atmosphere. The game also starts out in black and white, showing what happened to the main character's brother, and sets the scene for the rest of the story. Now, she's out in search of her brother with hopes he might still be alive, but also needing to uncover the mystery of what really happened. Now, again, this being a spoiler-free review, other than the basic story, I don't want to give too much away, but this is a must-play horror game for any fans out there, especially on Halloween. And if I were you guys, I would turn off the lights, turn up the speakers, and get ready to be very, very afraid. The most interesting part of this game, when I was a kid and I was playing it, that I noticed is that you don't actually kill the enemies by normal means, such as a gun or a knife, but you do so with a camera called the camera obscura. Now, I know you're thinking, okay, running around in a game killing ghosts with a camera, that sounds absolutely stupid, right? Wrong. It is a very unique way to play the game, and there's a lot more to it than you think. Now, there is an actual legend that says you can catch ghosts by basically taking a picture of them, and within a flash you actually can not only see them, but you can capture their souls. And in this game, you only use the camera as your means by defense, so by taking pics of these characters, you end up damaging the apparitions and finding clues. The best part about it, though, is as you're going through it, it isn't just a regular camera. You actually get to upgrade your camera during the game, so you find these different orbs that you're put in, and you choose different ways of upgrading it, a faster frame rate that you want to do, more damage, all sorts of things. And even better yet, you find better film. So why certain film is more suited for your basic ghosts, some might be better for certain poltergeists that are a lot more powerful. I found myself struggling sometimes to save the better film for the bosses, but also as you're concentrating your camera on the enemy, you're going to notice circles filling up, and if you take the shot at the right time when they're full and the enemy is very close to you, which is also very intense and scary, and you press it the exact right time, you get something called a fatal frame, which will either instantly kill them or it will dramatically decrease their health bar. Again, if you press it at the wrong time, the ghost is going to grab you and you're going to be hurt very bad. For a conclusion, one thing I want to say about this game is a lot of horror games don't do this kind of thing anymore, and I find what you can't see to be a lot more creepy, and this has one of the best atmospheres I have seen in a million different horror games that I've played. If you're looking for a game that is going to make your hair stand on your neck and feel the need to turn around in your own house to make sure you're safe, this is the game for you. There is a million times where I literally turned around looking behind me at the bathroom or having to close the closet door. Yes, which is also, Etno, my girl, she gets freaked out, but she also screams at the top of her lungs. But it really gives you that feeling that something's in there. I'm hoping in the future they do some kind of fatal frame with VR, because I could only imagine the creep factor of this. You will play this whole game taking place inside of this manor, so the town and these different villages and houses you're going through. But what you're going to find is a game full of puzzles, Japanese mythologies, and stories that will keep you very engaged. All in all, I give this game a 9.5 out of 10 and highly suggest you pick it up, as well as the sequel Fatal Frame 2, which is probably my favorite one, which I will get to at a later point. Anyways, guys, thank you so very much for watching today, and stay tuned for some more creepiness coming from me and Etno, which is going to be coming up on our next episode. Have a great day, guys.